Hey, hello there guys, Proxant here, and welcome back to another Yokai Watch 4 video. In this video, we are going to be taking a look at some recently released gameplay screenshots for Yokai Watch 4, and these recently released gameplay screenshots showed up on the Yokai Watch 4 website, so that's where I found them, and that's where we're going to be taking a look at them from. So, getting started with the first screenshot here. Essentially, what we're going to do is we're just going to look at it, see what's going on in the screenshot, and just move on through each one of them. So with this first one here, you can see the main character, Touma, is the character that's being played. At the top, you can see that he's got a marker, and that marker is directing him to a location that you can actually see on the minimap at the bottom right, and that is distinguished by the green marker. To the side of him, we see Komasan's light side form, and then in the upper right corner, we see the little description of what's going on in the quest marker. Behind him, we see the city in general. There's a mountain in the far background there. There's very nice clouds, and it's a very interesting thing to see here. You know, it shows you how different this game is relative to the 3DS games, and it's something we'll notice in every single screenshot because it does look a whole lot better than the 3DS games because there's just so much more potential that you can do stuff with the Nintendo Switch. So Level 5 is really going all out with it and making this game look absolutely fantastic. So moving on to the next screenshot here. It is another screenshot of Touma, and it's actually a little bit earlier than the screenshot we just saw. If we go back to that one, you can see the location he is on the map, and this one he is a little further back. So in this case, he is next to Michi, which I believe is Slimamander's light side form. And in this case, he's just walking towards the location that is in the previous screenshot, and it's the same structure going on here. You know, he's got the marker, he's got the quest, and there's the marker on the map. You also see that on this mini-map, it shows you the icon for Komasan's light side form is right next to the green marker, and also you can see that he's next to some sort of park, I would presume, and you just see a bunch of cool stuff around here. You can see the bridge up ahead, which I'm guessing might be a bridge for a train or something along the lines of that. So, moving on to the next one. This one is actually a screenshot for Natsume, and in this case, it does appear to be in the same general area. If we do go back real quick, you can see that this is relatively close to that park area right next to Touma. So I'm guessing this is just a thing that's occurring in quick succession, where you start with Natsume, you go and do something, then you switch over to Touma, and he continues that on. So in this case, you also see a similar structure where you've got a quest at the top, it's got the information for the quest, but in this case, instead of the quest being just a marker, it actually shows you a exclamation mark. So I'm guessing it's showing like, hey, this is your priority, go here. And maybe it's like a different structure to the quest or something along the lines of that. And we also get a closer look to the mountain that was visible in the other two screenshots, and you can see that there are some form of structures up there. So I'm guessing throughout the game you'll get to go up there and interact with stuff up there, or maybe you'll just be able to free explore and find some pretty cool things over there. So in this next screenshot, it is in a completely different area, and this area does appear to be at the school. So in this case, it is Touma once again, and the school is a bit different from what it was in the previous games, assuming that this is the same school, unless it's in a completely different area, but I'm guessing it's not. So in this case, you can see that he's got a marker, and it's similar to the one we just saw with Natsume, where it is a exclamation mark instead of just a general marker. And if I do remember correctly, this was shown in the Tokyo Game Show video, and I believe this is the first boss of the game where you fight that humanoid yokai thing. I don't remember its exact name, but it was shown in the gameplay at Tokyo Game Show, so I'm guessing this is just a screenshot of that, or it might be showing you like, hey, this is a different quest in the game occurring at a different instance. But given the fact that quite a bit of the area does appear to be closed off, since only some of the area is colored up, I guess. As you can see on the bottom right hand corner, only part of it is actually like glowing and the rest of it is dark, so I'm guessing you can't actually access those areas while you're doing whatever you're doing now, and that's something you can see in the other ones as well. In this case, you see that only a certain part of the area is highlighted, so I'm guessing it might be locking you into here while you're in the middle of a quest, and maybe in general you can just explore everywhere, or maybe it's just saying, hey, this is the only area that's loaded up. And you see this in this screenshot as well, since you've got a tight corridor that you can actually go through to get to the quest, and same with this one. So moving on from this one, it is another screenshot with Touma, and this is further back up from the previous area that we saw in the previous screenshots, and in this case, what you see is the marker in the bottom right hand corner is sort of hovering off to the side, and this is pretty similar to what we saw in the previous Yokai Watch games, where the marker shows up on the minimap and it's going to guide you wherever you need to go, and if you are decently far away from the marker, it'll show up where it's like hovering at the edge and giving you a general direction. And of course, on top of this, you do have the marker at the top that shows you, hey, this is the direction you need to turn to get over to where the marker is at. And if we look around the screenshot here, we see a couple houses, we see a couple side characters there, and as you can see, the side characters have the same level of detail put into them as the main characters, which is very nice to see, since it's not pushing them off to the side where they're unimportant. It actually makes the whole world work together as one, and it shows you, hey, you know, these are side characters, but at the same time, you can actually tell that they're characters, and they're not just like randomly walking around and not really doing much. And then we've got cars and stuff in the background, similar to what we had in Yokai Watch 3, where the cars would travel around the area, and, you know, they shared the road, and it wasn't just an inactive area. It was active, it had a life, it was vibrant. As you can see, it's got trees that are vibrant, it's got trees that are slightly less vibrant in the upper right hand corner there. It's showing you like, hey, you know, there's different trees. I don't know why I'm really mentioning that, but I just think it's cool that there's so much variety going on here. So let's move on to the next screenshot. So in this screenshot, it does appear to be another angle from one of the previous ones. If we do go back to this one, it does appear to be in the exact same area, but it instead is a side profile of this area. So it's showing you like, hey, when you're traveling around, you do have some customization in terms of your camera angle, so you can swap it and view your character how you would like to view them. This probably will give you a bit more freedom than you had in the previous games, where you could only change it on a certain axis. I'm guessing in this case you'll have complete 360 rotation, but don't quote me on that because I'm not too sure what they're going to do with it. However, it would be really nice if it did give you full 360-degree rotation with your character. And if we look in the background of this screenshot, we can see a nice little pond there, and as I mentioned earlier, this does appear to be some sort of park, so it's a pretty cool looking park. You're obviously going to be able to explore it at some point, so that's really nice. And as I mentioned earlier, it does add a nice aspect to this game to just see so much of this vibrancy and so much of this just really cool stuff around here, because it's like, hey, you know, this game has stuff you can explore, this game has areas you can go, and it's nice to see that's a continuation from the previous games, because in Yokai Watch 3, for example, you were able to go all around the areas in the game, and you were able to see so much cool stuff, so it's nice that they're continuing with that, and it just adds that really cool aspect of exploration to the game. So, moving on to the next screenshot here, we've got a screenshot that is in the park that's a little bit above the area we were just observing. So in this case, we see Jibanyan's light side form, and we see Whisper as well, and that is the new Whisper form. So, you know, it's a nice little park. It's got that interesting playground structure thing there, and it's got houses in the background. It's just a general cool looking park. There's not much else to really say about this except for the fact that it's showing you like, hey, you know, there's stuff you can explore. as I was previously mentioning, and it does show you like, hey, the houses are pretty different, because you can see if you're looking at the houses in the background there, they're all structured relatively like different. They have different color schemes, they have different designs and all that cool stuff. So it's nice to see that, so then you're not just in the game and observing the same houses over and over and over again. And in general, everything we've looked at in these screenshots just shows you the fact that this game has so much cool design in everything. It's got a cool design in its yokai, it's got a cool design in its characters, it's got a cool design in the background, it's got a cool design in practically everything that we've seen so far. So honestly, I cannot wait until this game comes out, because there's so much cool stuff to anticipate, and I just can't wait to play through it and see all of this stuff play out, and just see how they manage to turn one of the better looking Yokai Watch games, which was Yokai Watch 3, and make it something that looks even better in this case. And also, in the case of Yokai Watch 3, they really managed to push the 3DS and make that game look amazing. And from this, I'm noticing that they're managing to push the Nintendo Switch quite a bit and make this game look amazing, while also running really well from what we've seen in the gameplay demos. So that's really cool to see as well. And just in general, can't wait until this game is out. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick look at all of these screenshots. And if there is any more Yokai Watch 4 news or new screenshots, I'll make sure to make a video on that as well. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And as always, I'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.